time and avoiding too much back and forth. My living room doubles as an office. The flat is not big, so I put any files and paperwork in a closed cabinet to keep them out of sight. Administrative work has to be done, but having the office at home like this can be tiresome. It feels as if I am always carrying a heavy rucksack, even after the trek is over. I never quite make it to a point where I can rest, take a break, and turn around to look back over the landscape I have passed through. When I have finished the work, the actual building, I have to open the cabinet, take out the relevant file, boot up the computer and pay VAT, write emails, archive documents, fill out forms, and calculate tenders. The hours I spend on this feel long, much longer than the hours I spend with materials and tools. My company is a one-man business, and there is no clear distinction between my private and professional life. I am in physical contact with the tools and materials I use, and am likewise bound to the finances and consequences of my labor. There is a close connection between me and my drill, my van, the floor I am laying, the house I am building, and also the balance sheet. At times this can feel overwhelming, but not simply in a negative way. It gives me a strong sense of my work, not only being of great significance to the clients who ask me to renovate their homes, but to me too. Financially and professionally, I am exposed, devoid of the protection most people take for granted in their everyday working lives. I make a living from producing transient objects that can be replaced and demolished. That is also part of my profession. The things we surround ourselves with are crucial to our lives, and at the same time are unimportant. And that is the reason we can say it went well. No lives were lost when the cathedral burned down. The job I'm currently doing in Chelsea is nearing an end. In another 3 weeks, I will be looking at blank pages in my appointment book. This is how it always is. I go to work and make something, while at the same time I keep an eye out for the next job. Chapter 2. I'm sitting in the living room at home. Captain Beefheart is playing on the stereo, and outside it is a cold, wet November evening. I was out late last night, so it feels fitting when the captain sings, "I went around all day with the moon sticking in my eye." It is good music to wash up to, so I make a start on that, but I'm interrupted by the ringing of the telephone, a number I do not recognize. Hello? Hi, my name is Jon Pedersen. I got your number from Helena Carlson. Ah, Helena and the boys in Torshov. It's about some building work, then? Helena and the boys were a family I did a loft conversion for a couple of years ago. It was a nice job for a pleasant family. Helena had a husband and 2 sons, thus Helena and the boys, as in the French sitcom popular in the 1990s. That was what I called them, and they thought it was funny, I think, but now it crosses my mind that of course Jon Pedersen does not know anything about that. Yes, we live in Torshov and have a loft we're also planning to convert, so we're looking around for a contractor who could do a good job. There are a lot of cowboys out there, he says, with an implicit tone to his voice. We want to use proper tradesmen. So when Helena told us how happy they were with the job you've done and recommended you, John tells me a little about how Helena and the family have put their loft to use, and how they would like to do something similar with their own. The board of the housing cooperative for the building they live in have at long last agreed to part of the loft being converted into a living space. It can be difficult to get such things through in that system of home ownership. People can be wary of change and view it as unnecessary. But now they had finally bought the space and were ready to convert it. Can I ask you a few questions about the loft? Will the space be directly connected to the apartment you're already living in? Yes, by way of a staircase up from the living room below. That's to say, we've already knocked through one wall, so it's open plan, with the living room and kitchen in one. Have you had drawings made and sought planning permission? Have you had a structural engineer's report carried out? We continue talking, and Pedersen tells me that plans are completed, and the engineer has provided specifications for the work and detailed drawings. They have applied for a building permit and expect it to be approved soon. I explained to him that should I get the job, then I myself would carry out all the carpentry. The people I would subcontract to, I have worked with for many years. It is an important distinction between contractors. There are those with their own people and those who outsource. There's a big difference between being a tradesman and being a recruitment agent or a wholesaler of tradesmen. It turns out that the job is being